Have you noticed your skin feeling dry, itchy, or just off lately?
My
Maybe you've
back.
seen strange bumps that don't fade, or your nails look different than they used to. Most people shrug these things off, blaming the weather stress or just getting older. But what if I told you these changes could be your body's way of crying out for help, and ignoring them could be dangerous? I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and I want to be very clear with you from the start. Kidney disease is called the silent killer for a reason. It creeps in quietly, without pain, without drama, until one day the damage is severe and often irreversible. By the time most people realize something is wrong, it's already too late. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Your skin might be the very first place your kidneys show their struggle. Long before the lab tests, long before the doctor's warnings, your skin often whispers the truth if you know how to listen. That's why today I'm going to walk you through the 8 surprising skin signs that your kidneys may be in trouble. Not with confusing medical jargon, but in clear everyday language you can understand and remember. Because if you learn to spot these clues early, you can take action before things spiral out of control. And trust me, some of these signs will shock you. So let's begin with the most overlooked warning that often stares back at you from the mirror every single day. Let's start with the most common sign that almost everyone ignores: dry skin. I'm not talking about a little winter dryness that clears up with some lotion. I'm talking about skin so dry it feels like cracked earth, rough like sandpaper, or flakes off in sheets no matter how much moisturizer you use. That kind of dryness isn't just cosmetic, it could be your kidneys raising a red flag. Take Robert, a 67-year-old retired carpenter. For months, he blamed his scaly arms on the cold air in Portland. He tried every lotion he could find, but nothing worked. Only later, after a routine blood test, did he learn his kidney function had already dropped by almost 40%. His skin was screaming the truth long before the lab report did. Here's why your kidneys regulate fluids and minerals in your blood. When they begin to fail, your body can't hold moisture the way it should. Research shows that up to 85% of people with late-stage kidney disease report severe stubborn dryness, often years before dialysis is ever needed. In other words, your skin might know the truth before your doctor does. So what can you do? First, protect the little moisture you still have. Avoid hot showers and harsh soaps that strip your skin. Instead, use a fragrance-free, gentle moisturizer immediately after bathing, while your skin is still damp, to lock in every drop of hydration. And most importantly, don't brush this off as just aging. If the dryness keeps coming back, it's worth a serious conversation with your doctor. But here's the thing: dryness is just the whisper. When that whisper turns into a relentless itch that keeps you awake at night, that's when the warning gets louder. And believe me, you'll want to hear this, because itching can reveal something far more dangerous. If dry skin is the whisper, then itching is the shout, and this is the kind of itch that doesn't let go. It's not a mosquito bite, and it's not your average winter irritation. This is the itch that wakes you up at night, that makes you scratch through your shirt, that crawls across your back, arms, legs, even your scalp without warning. And no cream seems to calm it down. Take Maria, a 72-year-old grandmother from Florida. She told me she'd sometimes wake up with sheets scratched raw, even though there was no rash, no redness, no visible trigger. She thought maybe it was nerves. But when we tested her kidneys, her blood showed a dangerous buildup of waste products. The truth is, her body was trying to scratch its way out of the toxins. Here's what's happening scientifically when your kidneys fail to filter properly. Waste chemicals accumulate in your bloodstream. Those toxins irritate the nerve endings under your skin, creating a sensation so deep and burning that no amount of scratching brings relief. Studies show that up to 40% of chronic kidney disease patients suffer from relentless itching, often worse at night, because toxin levels rise as the body slows down. So what can you do if this sounds familiar? First, don't fight with your fingernails. It only breaks the skin and invites infection. Instead, keep your nails trimmed short, switch to breathable cotton clothing, and apply cooling solutions like oatmeal-based lotions or cold compresses. For severe cases, your doctor may suggest antihistamines or other kidney-safe medications to help reduce the discomfort. And here's where it gets tricky. Itching alone might feel like just a nuisance, but combined with other skin changes, it's a flashing red warning that your body is drowning in waste. And when the skin finally starts showing visible scars, dark patches, thickened textures, or even bleeding cracks, that's when the danger climbs to a whole new level. Because the damage won't just be invisible anymore. It will be written all over your skin. When itching becomes relentless, it doesn't just stay invisible, it leaves its mark. What starts as harmless scratching can evolve into raw patches, bleeding cracks, or thickened, irritated skin that simply won't heal. And here's the scary part. It's not only from scratching too hard, it's also because toxins building up inside your body are now trying to escape through your skin. Let me tell you about James, a 70-year-old former truck driver. He noticed tiny white bumps on his arms that looked like little pimples, but they weren't caused by oil or clogged pores. They were actually tiny crystals, waste byproducts, that his kidneys could no longer clear. Over time, his skin grew darker in some places and paler in others, almost like his body was painting its own SOS message. Medically, this happens because when kidneys stop filtering toxins and minerals circulate longer in your blood, the skin, your largest organ, becomes the battleground. That's why you might see rashes that don't fade, clusters of bumps that keep returning, or even grayish or yellowish tones in your complexion. Studies confirm that skin disorders affect more than half of patients with advanced kidney disease, often long before other major symptoms appear. If you're noticing this, the best thing you can do is stop ignoring patterns. Use mild, fragrance-free skincare, avoid constant scratching, and most importantly, bring it up with your doctor, even if it looks like eczema or an allergy. Because mislabeling these changes is one of the biggest reasons kidney disease often goes undiagnosed until it's dangerously advanced. And here's something most people never think about. If your skin is breaking down on the outside, what do you think is happening underneath? That's right, your nails, those tiny windows into your bloodstream, can reveal some of the most telling signs of kidney trouble. And what they show is often shocking. Most of us glance at our nails dozens of times a day without giving them a second thought. But what if those tiny plates of keratin were quietly documenting the struggle inside your kidneys? Because when the filtration system begins to fail, it doesn't just show up in your skin, it shows up in your nails. Consider Linda, a 65-year-old retired teacher. She noticed her nails developing a strange two-tone pattern. The top half turned pale white, while the bottom near the cuticle became reddish-brown. She thought it might be from nail polish, but even after she stopped using it, the pattern remained. A checkup revealed the truth. Her kidneys were no longer filtering waste effectively, and her nails were signaling the imbalance. Doctors call this the half-and-half nail, or Lindsay's nail, and it's strongly associated with chronic kidney disease. But that's not the only red flag. You might also see horizontal white lines across the nail ridges that weren't there before, or nails that become unusually thin and brittle. These changes aren't just cosmetic, they reflect waste accumulation and poor blood circulation in the nail bed. Research estimates that 20 to 40% of patients with advanced kidney issues show nail abnormalities, making them one of the most overlooked yet powerful warning signs. If you notice this, don't dismiss it as aging or bad nutrition. While nail changes can have other causes combined with skin dryness, itching, or swelling, they're a clear signal to investigate your kidney health. Keep an eye on patterns, and if something feels wrong, speak with your doctor. Because your nails aren't just accessories, they're a living diary of your blood chemistry. And here's where it gets even more concerning. When nails start warning you, it usually means the imbalance runs deeper than just skin and keratin. The body begins holding on to fluids it can't release, and that extra burden shows up in the most visible way of all, swelling that creeps into your feet, ankles, hands, and even your face. And this is where many people finally realize something serious is happening. Sometimes the most alarming signs don't appear on your skin surface at all, but in the way your body holds on to fluid. This is swelling not from an injury or from walking too much, but from your kidneys failing to release the salt and water they should be clearing every single day. Take Harold, a 71-year-old grandfather who used to enjoy long walks around his neighborhood. He noticed his socks leaving deeper marks than usual, and his shoes felt tighter by afternoon. At first, he blamed the summer heat, but the swelling kept getting worse. His legs felt heavy, his wedding ring wouldn't fit, and even his face looked puffier in the mornings. Tests later showed his kidneys were no longer flushing out excess fluid, leaving his body overloaded and swollen. This condition, called edema, happens when your kidneys can't maintain the right balance of sodium and water. Instead of leaving through urine, the fluid stays trapped in your tissues. You'll see it most in your ankles, feet, hands, or under your eyes. At first it's subtle, but as the weeks go by, it becomes harder to ignore. Research confirms that persistent symmetrical swelling is one of the earliest visible signs of kidney dysfunction, yet it's often mistaken for simple aging or diet. What can you do? Reducing sodium intake is critical, but so is drinking the right amount of water, not too much, not too little. Compression socks and elevating your legs can help ease the burden, but none of this replaces the importance of talking with your doctor if swelling is new or getting worse, because your body may be telling you in no uncertain terms that it's drowning inside. And here's the catch: when your body reaches this point, it often doesn't stop with swelling. The skin begins fighting back with something even more visible: persistent rashes, rough raised patches, and irritated bumps that keep coming back no matter what cream you try. And when that happens, your skin isn't just signaling discomfort, it's sounding an alarm that kidney function may be dangerously low. When swelling builds quietly in the background, the next warning sign often arrives loud and clear through rashes that refuse to leave. These aren't the seasonal dry spots you get in winter or the occasional flare from allergies. These are red, irritated patches that keep spreading, thickening, and returning again and again, even after you've tried every cream in the cabinet. I remember a patient named Diane, 69, who came to me after years of battling what she thought was stubborn eczema. Her arms and back broke out in clusters of small bumps, sometimes merging into rough, leathery patches. The creams helped for a week, but the rash always came back in the exact same places. When we ran her blood work, the truth became clear: her kidneys were failing to filter toxins, and her skin had become the escape route. Here's what's happening scientifically as kidney function declines. Toxins accumulate in the bloodstream. Your immune system reacts, triggering inflammation that shows up on the skin. That's why these rashes look so angry and feel so itchy. And it isn't rare. Studies show that more than 40% of patients with advanced kidney disease develop chronic skin inflammation, often misdiagnosed as other conditions. So what can you do if this sounds familiar? Avoid harsh soaps and hot water, which strip the skin barrier. Stick to mild fragrance-free products and keep the skin cool and clean. Dermatologists may prescribe steroid creams or medicated lotions, but remember, treating the skin alone is only a temporary fix. The deeper solution lies in addressing kidney health itself. And here's the frightening reality: when the skin reaches this stage, it's no longer whispering, it's screaming. And if those screams are ignored, the body may take an even more drastic step: sudden blisters, fragile bubbles that erupt on your hands, feet, or face. And when those appear, it's not just a warning anymore. It's a sign of a true emergency. If rashes are your body's scream, then blisters are the emergency sirens. And when they appear, time is no longer on your side. These aren't the blisters you get from new shoes or a burn. These are fragile, fluid-filled bubbles that erupt suddenly on otherwise healthy skin, your hands, your feet, even your face, without warning. I once treated a man named Carl, 74, who noticed clear balloon-like blisters appearing on his palms. At first they didn't hurt, so he covered them with bandages and went on with his day. But within a week, they spread, popped, and turned into painful open wounds. Tests showed he had reached end-stage kidney disease. Those blisters weren't random. They were his body's desperate attempt to push toxins out through the skin after the kidneys had failed completely. Doctors call this condition uremic bully. It's rare, but when it happens, it's a red alert signal that waste has overwhelmed the bloodstream. The skin becomes a pressure valve, forcing toxins outward, leaving patients vulnerable to infection and dangerous complications. And while it may look like a skin problem, it's actually a visual marker of a critical internal collapse. If you ever notice blisters like this, don't wait it out. This is not the time for home remedies. Gentle cleansing and medical dressings may help protect the skin, but the true treatment often requires urgent dialysis to remove the overload of waste. The bottom line: sudden blisters are a medical emergency, and hesitation can cost you your life. And yet, as frightening as blisters are, the body has one more card to play, something most people never expect. Hard, chalky lumps forming just beneath the skin, often near the fingers or joints. They may look harmless at first, but they carry a message that your kidneys are in deeper trouble than you realize. While blisters demand urgent attention, the next warning sign often hides quietly under the skin. These are hard, chalky lumps that appear near the joints, fingertips, elbows, or knees. At first glance, they might look like harmless bumps, but in reality, they're calcium deposits, and they're telling you something far more serious is happening inside. I'll never forget Susan, a 68-year-old who came in complaining of tiny pebble-like bumps around her knuckles. She thought they were just part of aging, maybe arthritis. But one day the skin above a lump broke open and a white chalky substance leaked out. Tests confirmed her kidneys were struggling badly to regulate minerals like calcium and phosphorus. Her body, overwhelmed, had started storing those minerals in soft tissues instead of properly filtering them. Medically, this is called calcinosis cutis, and it often develops in late-stage kidney disease when mineral balance spins out of control. The deposits can be painless at first, but they may grow sharp, cause tenderness or rupture through the skin. Not only is this painful and unsettling, it can also trigger infections. Studies show that calcium phosphate imbalance is a major complication in advanced kidney patients. Invisible deposits are one of its most obvious external clues. So what should you do? First, don't ever try to pop or drain these lumps. They're not pimples. If you notice them, especially along with other kidney-related skin changes, get medical help. Treatments may include adjusting your diet, managing phosphorus levels, and in some cases, specific medications to restore balance. These bumps may look small, but they are your body's final whisper before a bigger crisis hits. And now that you've seen all 8 skin and nail warnings, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because not every rash, bump, or nail change means kidney disease. But if you're over 60 or living with diabetes or high blood pressure, these signs should never be ignored. And in just a moment, I'll share how you can use this information to take control before it's too late. You've now learned how your skin and nails can reveal hidden struggles inside your kidneys. My encouragement to you is this: don't brush these signs off as just aging. Pay attention, take notes, and if something doesn't feel right, bring it up with your doctor early, because the earlier you act, the more control you have. If this video was helpful, save it so you can return to it whenever you need a reminder, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss the latest doctor-backed tips on protecting your kidneys and caring for your health. Remember, your body is wiser than you think, and with the right knowledge and small daily choices, you can stay strong, live with confidence, and protect your health for many years to come.